Okay, this is not relatable per se, but as a person who has many tattoos, am I the asshole for not being excited about my wife's tattoo?
Ugh.
And I immediately was like, "Ugh, you are!" instantly. And I'm like, no.
Right?
I gotta read this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DeluluCanoePod. I am your hostess of the mostest. You can call me Dare Bear or Dare Taylor. Today I have joining me, since my voice is a little hoarse, I have Cosmo from the Cosmo Show.
Hey, how you doing? You doing okay?
I'm doing good. My voice is just very tired.
Oh, that sucks. That so sucks. But, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you're here. And I love our guest. Our guest is amazing.
Do you want to introduce our guest?
No.
Okay, I'll do it. Great.
Okay.
So usually Cosmo and I like to do solo episodes, so that way we can give you some hot takes and some hot tea. But as I said, my voice is a little strained today. I had a lot of vocal recording, but I also wanted to bring on again my lovely assistant, Miss Chrissy Lynn.
Yay! Everything's awesome.
Back
The
with
lovely
popular
assistant.
demand.
I know. Really though, was there a popular demand?
There was.
Yeah, truly,
Okay,
yeah, because
okay.
you changed your handles since the last time your
Oh, that's right. I
episode
did.
came out.
I did switch them up. Yeah.
I gotta know, what was the inspiration?
Oh, the Miss was no longer really serving me. It was like Miss Chrissy Lynn for so long, and then because Chrissy Lynn was taken, and then Miss Chrissy Lynn with two N's was taken, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just kind of not conform to any specific gender type and just go MX for
I
mix.
love it.
Yeah, so I can be like both, anything. And the two N's in my Lynn name were available, so I had to jump on it. Yeah.
There you go.
Doesn't throw anybody off too much. I don't know.
No, I still was able to find you. I know
Good,
the exact
okay.
day it changed because I was like, whoa, am I
Oh.
dyslexicing right now? Or-
Right. I keep forgetting, actually, it's changed. So there's that. I go
Yeah.
to like search my name and I keep typing MISS. I'm like, oh, shoot. But yeah.
Well, speaking of things that have really been changing a little bit, we have, I wouldn't say recently, but in the last like 6 months-ish, you and I tend to fall in love with like similar YouTube trends
Mhm.
where we'll like find something we really enjoy and we'll listen to it together while you're either doing my hair and makeup or while we're driving. We'll just throw something on.
Or hanging the art in your studio.
Or that too. But we came across this podcast called Two Hot Takes, and I don't know where I found them, but I played it once for you, and we are sucked in.
It's
Like-
nice. What's the gal's name who
Morgan.
hosts- Morgan, yeah. She's got a very like soft, soothing, I could fall asleep to her voice. And she reminds me of me in a way that's like very not monotone, but kind of the inflection is not so dramatic and so
Yeah.
embellished and exaggerated. It's just kind of like, yeah, and the very mild mannered and just soothing.
She's very chill.
She's super. It's a chill vibe for sure.
And also I like her because she's from Minnesota. So
Yeah.
I'm a little biased since I'm from there as well. But I used to really dislike podcasts that only read Reddit pages. But since I found theirs, I've fallen in love with it. And I thought since my voice is a little hoarse, or there's a frog in my throat, I think is another term for it. I thought we could read some of the classic Am I the Asshole stories?
Oh, yeah.
And we all here will deem whether the person is one, an asshole, and two, we will decide what we would have done in that situation instead if they were or were not the asshole. So has everybody got two?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who's going? Who's going?
I got two of them.
Okay.
And they're like, Reddit's not my thing, but since I've been doing this
Mhm.
and listening, I'm like, all right, it's just so much to go through.
Did you just get
Yeah.
on Reddit for the first time?
About a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I've had the app since I downloaded it, and then I try to go on there and read it, and I'm just like, wow, these are a lot. And some of them were like breaking down into like what is OP and what is
Oh yeah.
BIL?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
there's
can always
terminology.
Google the acronyms.
Yep. OP is like original writer.
Yeah, original poster.
Poster, thank you.
I made the mistake of when you create it, because I've forgotten my password so many times. I just kind of have to create a new name and a new everything each time.
Mhm.
And the first page is like, oh, click off the things that you like.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, I only want like, I'm a am I the asshole? Am I whatever, this and that? It's under like relationships and whatnot. And I start scrolling. I'm like, oh yeah, hair and makeup. Oh yeah, animation. Oh yeah, movies. Oh yeah, music. This. And so now I have too many things in my feed, which is totally fine. But you can like, if you want to be up to date on things, I'm all fitness and dieting. Like, what is wrong with me?
There's even subreddits and Reddit threads for certain cars that you drive,
Yeah,
and you're not allowed to be in it unless you drive that car.
Wow.
Elitism. It's a club.
Wasn't somebody was in something like that, and they only had to be God, who was it? It was on one of her guests.
I think it was Adam.
No,
Was it Adam?
Adam?
Was it Carlotta?
He's in the Camaro. It could be Carlotta.
Carlotta,
too.
I can imagine her being in like
DeLorean.
the DeLoreans only club. I like how we both go to that. The Jurassic Park Jeep only club.
Yeah.
or
Was it
something.
Holly?
Was it Holly?
Holly kinda
Yeah,
makes
the motorcycle
sense.
club.
What? Or
no,
was
wait.
that Cody?
Cody.
That's
I mean,
Cody,
Cody.
yeah.
Cody. Sorry, Cody.
Yeah.
No, sorry. She was on here. She was talking about that. It's like, only people that drive
You're
Harley Davidson,
right.
something like that. Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I totally
Okay.
forgot about that. That she's becoming a redditor.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
find a subreddit that's makeup artists only.
Do it.
I'm just gonna
Makeup
stick
artist
to Am I
horror
the Asshole?
story.
I should find one that's just like, light skinned freaks.
I mean, there's like the subreddits are wild for everything, and a lot of the podcasters and YouTubers have their own subreddits
They
too.
do.
Really?
Yeah, based on the content that they put out. If they're reading Am I the Assholes, they have a whole separate Am I the Asshole for their
Interesting.
podcast.
I'll have to look into that.
Also, if you're listening to this either on Apple or Spotify, or if you're watching us on YouTube, Chompy has actually made us a Delulu Canoe Reddit. So
Oh yeah.
I haven't used it. I haven't done anything with it yet, but thank you, Chompy. We appreciate
Let
you.
Thank you.
like let it get filled up with some treasures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you all do
Pollinate,
that.
something
Go
random.
rush to there and send us your stories.
Do it.
But for now, I have a really great one to start us off with if you both are ready.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. Am I the asshole for not complimenting my wife so that she won't become vain? Context. My wife, 29 female, and I, 31 male, have been together for 10 years. We share 3 children, 9, 7, 5. My wife was never someone to really dress up or put too much thought into her looks. She's always been beautiful, but never did much to highlight it until recently. She went through this crisis of feeling like she didn't have a personality outside of being a mom. Something like that. So for the last 2 years, she started traveling more, joining different groups, dressing really nicely, and wearing makeup. I never realized how much of a difference it would make, but people treat her completely different. She's constantly getting complimented, told she should be in magazines. She'll come home and happily tell me about the random stranger who was so nice to her. She randomly gets gifts. A lady at her job brought her an entire book series she was interested in, and she gets hit on. When we go out, all these dudes want to buy her drinks. Even my family has noticed, and all of a sudden it seems like they're wondering how I ended up with her. Honestly, it's a bit overwhelming for me and something I'm just not used to. It's kind of become annoying. Anyways, she was going out with friends and she'd ask me how she would look, and I said fine. She seemed disappointed with this. My sister was over and commented that I should hype her up. I said why should I when the world already does? That I don't want her thinking too highly of herself and to become more vain. My sister looked shocked and said, that's fucked up, and said that's low-key abusive and I'm an asshole. I think she's overthinking it, but decided to get outside opinions. So, am I the asshole?
It sounds like he's narcissistic because he thinks he's the one that's gonna like make her vain.
Yeah.
What's one additional compliment from your partner or your significant other, the one that you love? And I'm not trying to call him a narcissist. It sounds a little bit like it, but I honestly, is this like an ugly duckling story? Like, did she just, discover makeup, or does she, I'm not sure context wise, did she lose a bunch of weight recently and she's really feeling herself? Did she dye her hair a different color? Did she just start wearing makeup, etc.? I mean, yeah, I feel like I need more information, but the fact that she's getting, all these compliments where she goes, and it's like, good for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely good for her. I love that for her. But then to not get it from your partner, but he's doing it not in a way that he just doesn't compliment. He's specifically going out of his way to not compliment this person, his partner, so that she doesn't get one extra bonus compliment from the number one person in her life that should always compliment her.
Yeah.
I just think it's really strange. and selfish in a weird way of him.
There's something up with that, I think.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
The like getting picked up on, by other guys and getting hit on. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's what is the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just having the confidence of being like, oh no, it's like, is she telling it? Is he seeing it when they're out? That's one thing. I mean, maybe she's going home and he's just sick of hearing about it. Like, I'm getting complimented by this person, this stranger, treated me this way and whatnot. And it's kind of like I can see him getting sick of hearing that after a while. But also, he could just just partake and be like, "That's awesome, babe," and like lift her up.
Yeah.
Be like a like a guy's gal. Like, yeah, great, cool. Like, or when she walks in the door, so who else thought you were pretty today? No one more than me. Just like I don't know.
I think he might have some kind of fear or past trauma from that.
Maybe he's ugly.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. I'm so messed up. I'm not.
No,
maybe
but
he doesn't feel like.
Maybe he had girlfriends in the past that took it too far, and then like looked for attention when they went out. To think that's attractive for the guy.
Or maybe someone was telling them that like, oh, why are you with him? You look like this, and you're attracting all of these other folks who look like this.
Yeah, maybe it caused past relationship problems, but I love it when my partner just says something great about me, and I'm like, well, it builds confidence. I'm like, yeah, good. Everyone needs that, especially in a relationship. So, he is an asshole.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's the asshole.
He's
To me, it's the idea of him saying already in the beginning. It's the way he wrote it. Am I the asshole for not complimenting my wife so that she won't become vain? That's not up to you, homie. First of all. And second of all, it's the idea that he started being bothered by it when other people were saying, like, how did you bag her? That's when he, like, at least what he wrote here sounds like that's when it started to bother him.
Yeah. I've had people tell me that, too. They're like, how'd you get with her? I'm like, style, class, manners. Try it. And just walk away.
Try it. I love it.
Try it.
Yeah, I would deem him the asshole.
100%. There's a lot to unpack there. He's got some baggage. Something's going on.
Yep.
Yeah. Hype your wife.
Do not subscribe.
Especially because she's a mom, and she did this with the sole purpose of wanting to have something outside of just being a mom. So
and like having a baby changes your life and changes your body drastically. So
especially after a while of raising the kid for so long. You see this in a lot of TV shows and whatnot. It's like, I've been doing this for like 12, 13 years, 18 years, and the kid's out of the house. Let's revamp our lives, So that I totally agree with her.
I'm just kind of over here like child free forever.
So mainly all of Reddit agreed that this man is the asshole. I wanted to highlight this comment because I thought this was a really good point. I agree, OP, you are the asshole. This is your wife. You're supposed to be her biggest cheerleader. Your post is concerning. She has given you children a home, and now that she's her own person, you make a post about your feelings and how annoyed you are. Do y'all even talk at home, or is she just like a maid to you? Ooh. What do you do for her that she isn't doing for herself?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay, Reddit.
Yay,
Humanity's restored.
Yay.
Oh, man.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Chrissy.
I'll go. Okay.
No pressure.
All right.
Chrissy?
So this one, it's I guess it's short, but I'm not really short. No, I don't know what short means.
Oh.
Okay. Am I the asshole for kicking my ex out?
Oof.
My ex, we'll call him B, has been living with me for 6 months post-breakup. During these 6 months, I have allowed him to live with me for free. I've asked him to just save some money to be able to afford a place to live. We have a 1-year-old together, so I wanted him to be in a stable environment for her. In these 6 months, he has bought 3 gaming systems.
Oof.
We know how expensive those are.
Right.
Video games and accessories for the consoles. No money saved, no effort in looking for a place. Along with no money saved, none has went to the care of our daughter.
Ooh.
I have provided for her every need. This past weekend, he was talking about going to see his family and possibly taking her. I told him no, as it is in a different state. I did not want him taking her 2 hours plus away. On top of all this, his family has made no efforts in seeing her. It interrupted in a huge argument, and his sister-in-law, S-I-L, his sister-in-law, trying to keep my child from me. I told him to pack his things and leave because I cannot handle this disrespect anymore. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anybody have thoughts before I chime in?
I've experienced this once where I was trying to do a good thing and I allowed someone to live with me for a while after a situation erupted. And you have to be careful who you allow into your space and how long you allow them into your space, because communication is key when someone, I mean, in any relationship. And the fact that she was doing, or I think she's a she, right? The OP is a she?
Yes, yeah.
That she's allowing this person to live with her and like trying to help them out by giving them the leg up by not having to pay rent. And then you see the gaming consoles appear and like, you know, they're not putting any money towards their child. Yeah, of course you're not the asshole. You were trying to help them out and they took advantage and spent their money on other means. Now, in my case, I think communicating with that person would have been the better way instead of you're out now. I think there should have been a little bit of like, hey, I've noticed you're buying these consoles, you're buying these other things. What about our daughter? Like, you should be spending the money on our child together, and you should be saving this money so that you can get your own place, because I'm only giving you X amount of time. Instead of just at the drop of a hat because they were frustrated throwing them out.
Right. And we also don't know like how many conversations maybe they have had or if it's been brought up.
Right.
The fight kind of erupted because of he wanted to take his daughter to see his parents. They live 2 hours away, and there's never been an effort made on them coming to see her or wanting to see her at all. And then like the sister-in-law, you know, trying to keep her child from her. It's kind of like, is this like a way to like is he trying to like take the kid and run and like just leave? Because the family, you know, etc., whatever. But I mean, I've been in a similar situation where it's like you watch someone just kind of sit on your couch all day long and just not go anywhere, not do anything, not put effort into like either looking for work or pay or contribute in any way. They're just kind of eating food out of your fridge, and they're getting money from who knows where, or they already have it, and they're buying things when it's like, oh, why are you buying this when you need to be saving for something? You need to be, you know, have some ambition, drive, or goals and get out of a situation. Like, does he want to live with her for free forever? It sounds like a horrible situation, but also, there's more context that's missing, but 6 months is a long time with nothing to show for, like, looking for a place. I mean, it sounds like he has a job, but, you know, not even caring for his daughter. Like, who's buying her groceries or her, you know, whatever needs that she is. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. It's hard when you have kids, obviously. That changes a lot.
I've been in that situation before. I was with a past relationship. We lived together. But it took us 2 years after breaking up. But we were both saving up. It took it because we just moved out here.
I was gonna say Los Angeles is expensive.
Los Angeles is expensive. We had savings, a lot of savings moving out here. Like almost a year of just living off of savings in a $2,000 apartment. Of just
savings.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
They always say have 6 months saved for expenses.
And like we moved out here, and there was like no jobs. I was looking, found something finally like 7 months later, but we moved a couple times from Hollywood to the Valley, and the last place we lived at was reasonable. It was like $1,200, but her work kept her busy. So even though we broke up, we're like, all right, well she's like, I'll take the living room, she'll take the bedroom. We'll just try to save up as much as we can. When we get to a point where we can save up, bada bing, bada boom. Luckily enough, I found a place that was really dirt cheap in my budget. And then she went with a guy that she cheated on me with, but he lived a big ass house out in the Hollywood Hills. But they're married now. They're happy. That's good.
Great.
I'm happy for them.
Good for them.
Living in Hawaii. But we agreed, don't bring anybody home, blah 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 blah, save up money, and then just work on that stuff. And I was just always working, bartending all the time, so I was saving, and I had like at least 5 months of rent. And my rent then was just as cheap as it is now, my part of the rent for my roommates. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, but I wasn't buying stupid shit. I wasn't like going out and getting guitars or game systems.
Yeah,
I had
3 gaming consoles. I can't get over like that's like $1,500, give or take.
Plus accessories.
You know? Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah. I think she's right. She's just saying, get out. Ultimately.
Yeah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she's spoken to him before, and at the threat of her daughter being taken away in some capacity, not by like, Child Protective Services, but I would have that fear, and I would be like, you got to get out. Like,
I also want to
you
know
had
why the
6
parents
months.
don't visit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because
Like, they
this
made
person
no
could be
efforts
bad.
in seeing her.
Yeah.
And maybe because of the breakup, maybe they don't like her for some reason. Maybe he's painting her to be some sort of way.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
I can see
Also,
that.
for everyone out there, if you have a situation that's like this,
Mm-hmm.
draft up a contract. Give people a contract. If you have written documentation and a reasonable effort that you gave someone 3 months, 4 months, 6 months is extremely generous, or whatever they're paying rent or they're not. Get stuff in writing, because then you can legally have people removed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It may sound silly to do a contract, but do it. Like,
Paperwork, man.
it saves you in the end.
Yeah.
Please do it. Yeah. All right, Cosmo.
Oh.
You got a good one for us?
Yeah.
Show me what you got.
Am I the asshole for ordering from a kids menu while being invited out to celebrate my BIL birthday? What's BIL?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law birthday? Okay, cool. Sweet.
I saw this one.
Yeah.
I skipped past it.
Oh.
I didn't read it. But I was
Oh.
like,
I, 29 female, have been invited to celebrate my brother-in-law birthday to a sushi restaurant alongside with my parents. The birthday dinner was last weekend, and there was no way for me to decline or avoid it. Now, I'm intolerant to fish and seafood, so I am trying to avoid eating anything containing those, and as you can imagine, it is rather hard to avoid at a sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
The restaurant has other options like chicken katsu curry and different chicken dishes, but they're all part of the kids' menu. Normal adult menu only had different types of sushi. So I ordered from the kids' menu and also said, I am cool paying an adult price for the dish. The waiter was trying to refuse after a brief explanation behind the reasoning. They had no problem in serving me something from the kids' menu. Because of this, I had a lot of weird looks, especially from my sister-in-law, who later confronted me by saying what I did was a bit selfish and asshole-ish, since I was invited for sushi and since she was trying to convince her children to eat more adult food, poke bowl. And I have ruined it. My partner on the other side, however, is on my side. However, some of the family members believe I should have sucked it up and ate the sushi anyways. Am I the asshole?
okay.
Oh.
Food, I'm just going to chime right in.
Yeah.
Food allergies and intolerances is not a joke and is very serious.
Exactly.
Now, he says he has intolerances, which aren't allergies, so it's not going to kill him. She.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and maybe she won't know if she's allergic or, to shellfish or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like food should be taken very seriously. Like, I like that they're like, oh, cool. There's another protein option. It's chicken. I am surprised that all the like teriyaki, katsu, curry stuff was only on a kid's menu for that. Because usually most Japanese places that, we go to, there's all of that, but full entree size for adults. So I think that's really silly. But I digress.
Probably wasn't LA.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Probably not in LA then.
Yeah, probably. But like, you can't just suck up like I have. I'm pescatarian. If that was put in that situation, I mean, yes, I live for sushi. Obviously, I would thrive. But take me to a steakhouse, I will find something else. I will compromise. If I have to eat 6 side dishes of veggies, I will do that. But no one would question it or think anything weird. I think his family's weird. I think they're the ones who are selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's really strange to put such hyper focus on, like, oh, you're ordering this and you can't eat that. It might, maybe it'll kill you. I don't know. Maybe it'll upset your stomach. Maybe you'll have to go home. Then that becomes an even bigger deal. That's more embarrassing. That's more like serious and drawing attention to, that's just a weird situation. I would never put somebody in. Usually when we do group outings and dinner, I'm like, what does everyone not want to eat?
Yeah.
To narrow things down.
I agree. I also grew up in a family where it's like we would go out obviously with like my aunt and my uncle, and like they have kids too, so we'd be with like my cousins and stuff, and like each family dynamic has different rules. So like sometimes my cousins would get to eat ice cream for dinner, and that was like okay for their family, but like my mom and my dad would say like just because your cousins are doing it doesn't mean you get to do it. So you would imagine the same scenario would happen in this family where it's like you're going out to eat, and if the mom wants to teach her kids to like eat sushi and try new things, that's great, but like they shouldn't be affected by what somebody else is doing.
Right.
You have to be the parent and just say like, oh well, Uncle Mike doesn't want this dish because XYZ, and I am not Uncle Mike's mom. I am your mom, you know? So it's like
that's
establishing
a good
the boundary.
opportunity for a learning lesson too, to be like,
Yep.
they're respect their autonomy and their decisions, and you can make your own decisions when you're 18 or over.
Yep.
You know, or something along those lines. But yeah, that's just so silly.
Well, one of the commenters
Ooh, yeah.
said, not the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear her explanation as to how the heck this was selfish.
Yeah.
Like, more like shellfish.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes, yes, exactly this. Because it's also so hard to tell children Auntie has to eat from that part of the menu because she will get sick or even die if she doesn't just eat sushi.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people agreeing with her, but the funny one was the more like shellfish.
Yeah, yeah.
That is pretty good.
It's like,
That's
oh,
a zinger.
and here's one more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to start seeing more people aware of food intolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm corn intolerant, and I've never wanted anyone to make a fuss about cross contamination, since it really doesn't matter for me. But I do also need to know when corn is primary ingredient, so I can avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's I didn't know anything about it until I read this. I'm like, intolerance? I'm like, I just don't want to eat that food.
Everyone just thinks it's lactose that people have intolerances to. And it's like, no, people can have intolerances to nightshades, tomatoes, potatoes, things like that, or bell peppers. Now, there's a difference between intolerances and allergies. An allergy can kill you.
Yeah.
You could go into anaphylactic shock and have to get, have an EpiPen and get, like, your throat can swell up. All of these bad things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But intolerances just means I'm going to be on the toilet for 6 hours later.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to throw up right now. Or I'm going to, do we risk it for the biscuit there?
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah, I wanted to actually like get the actual definition of intolerance just so we can like really separate the two. It's a noun. Woohoo. Lack of tolerance, unwillingness, or refusal to tolerate or respect opinions or beliefs contrary to one's own.
Oh, you're looking for the general word of intolerance.
Yeah.
Food intolerance is different.
People who suffer from an intolerance or sensitivity can't break down certain foods.
There it is.
They develop gas, diarrhea, and other problems. An intolerance or food sensitivity is inconvenient but not life-threatening. Right. So an allergy is just like the next step above, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
allergies.
And like we've all worked in food and beverage in this room,
Yeah.
right? And I used to, when someone would be like, I don't mean to like correct people, but when someone's like, oh, I'm allergic to this, I usually have to ask them, are you allergic to it? Like actually have an allergy, or are you just
like
intolerant? Because there's cross-contamination that could happen. Foods touching other foods. If you're allergic to nuts, there's a certain dust that comes like off of certain foods and peanuts, like
especially
on planes.
Oil.
Things like that. Yeah, like there's big differences. So whenever someone's like, oh, I'm allergic to that, I'm like, let's get a full clear answer, because I don't want to risk it, because there's so much risk in a kitchen.
Also, a thought is that the way that she called, or the sister called our OP an asshole, is kind of funny to me, because you're teaching your kids to like eat other foods, eat strange foods, but yet you're teaching them also to put someone else down and call them an asshole at the dinner table.
Because they have an intolerance. What if they had an allergy?
Yeah.
What if they had like some sort of mental health situation, or they were, another disability or anything?
Yeah.
Who's intolerant now?
Like, I wish I had intolerance to weed, but I don't. There's something in THC.
No, you wish you had a tolerance.
Tolerance.
Oh, there you go.
You want a tolerance.
There's something in THC that makes me rash, close up. I need a shot. It happened to me 2 times. One time I went to the hospital for. Didn't have an EpiPen. The first time I was so young, I just thought it was bad.
And it's a THC
product.
specifically, not CBD.
Yeah, not CBD.
Yeah.
CBD is fine. I've tried the oils. I've tried to smoke the
Like
vape.
the vape.
Yeah, and it's fine,
Mhm.
and it's great. But yeah, man, last time I did, it was 20 something, and yeah, it was bad. It was
Wow.
bad. Didn't have an EpiPen or anything like that.
Mhm.
My friend was like, "Hey, man, you should play guitar stoned." I'm like, "Yeah,"
You're like, totally, sounds
and I
great.
did.
Peer pressure.
But then my hands started itching, and then I just like my nose, my
Oh,
face was
no.
scratchy, and
That's
he's like,
wild.
"Dude, you're red. You're turning red, bro." I'm like, I'm having a hard time breathing.
You're like, but
I
how
have
does my
asthma."
guitar sound?
Oh,
Yeah.
look, this is how you know how fucked up your friends are. They're like, "Dude, but you sounded great, man, but you almost
Oh.
died.
Always.
But you almost died." I was like,
Yeah.
"No," and the doctor's like,
No.
"It's a rare case, but yeah, as long as if it's in my system,
Mhm.
that's when I can be around it. Somebody can smoke around me.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a window open. I can't be breathing in that. It's like secondhand smoke.
Gotcha.
That will kill me faster than cigarette smoke. So
See, it makes me wonder if maybe because I used to be like severely allergic to food coloring, where like
Mhm.
I couldn't have red 40 or like blue 20 was like big ones that
Mhm.
would affect me, and I wouldn't have like breathing issues, but I would get hives everywhere, and
Mhm.
like that's the first phase of being allergic because I inherited it from my mom. But her hives would get so bad they would be on the inside of her throat and she couldn't breathe.
Mhm.
But now as an adult, I can actually like have Gatorades and Powerades and stuff, but I only just get like a little itchy. So I
Yeah.
wonder if my allergy has turned to an intolerance possibly.
Probably. You could have not acclimate, but you kind of, maybe that is the right word. You've just kind of,
Evened out.
I guess, gotten used to it. Acclimate is probably the right word.
Yeah.
You created your own like herd unity. What is it? Herd immunity.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I always recommend a little bit at a time. Like
Yeah.
Gatorade should be cut with water. You shouldn't just drink it.
yeah,
Direct,
my partner just
FYI.
told me that recently, like a couple of years ago, a year ago, something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, you cut it with water. I thought it was
I mean, if you're like hardcore athletic and you're doing the thing,
Yeah.
I would still cut it with water. But I mean, it was originally made for athletes who are like working out hardcore all the time. So,
Mhm.
and then even when we're at Wasteland Weekend, it's always cut with water
Hmm.
because
Oh.
you want to hydrate, but you also want to you don't need all of that right away.
Also,
Right.
fun fact: those little frappuccino things that you get from Starbucks,
Mhm.
supposed to put over ice in the blender.
Yeah, those are made for milkshakes. They're not frappuccinos in a glass bottle.
Oh, the ones from the gas station.
You're supposed to mix them at home and make your own blended frappuccino.
It's crazy.
Wow.
We're
I'm
all
learning
facts
so
on this
much.
show. Facts, guys.
I
100%
love-
facts, not half facts, full facts.
We know this. We've
What-
Googled it.
I mean, also comment below if any of what we're saying is wrong because we like to learn too.
Yeah, we're welcome to being wrong. All right, everybody,
All right.
buckle up. 'Cause
I'm
this
getting
is a
there.
long one.
Hold on. Wait. What is
What?
what is this?
Did
What
you
is
find part of the cloud ceiling? Thank you.
Thank you.
My
It's comfortable
ceiling,
until
like,
it wasn't.
If you're missing this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I have a cloud ceiling above us, and sometimes it snows. Wee.
I feel so cute today. Sans like my nails coming off here and like my hands are all effed up.
Yeah, we don't have a sponsorship for this. What happened to your
No.
hands?
Like,
we don't
wow,
have
we need a sponsor for my hands.
Phil.
Oh, I was literally on set today this morning and I got excited about something. And I don't run. I'm not a runner. I physically cannot. I should not run. My legs are trash. Because of my disability, not because I'm out of shape. I'm also not out of shape. And so when I went to go get something, I looked at something and I was like, I'm gonna go get that, but I want to get it fast. I was running. It was dirt. There was gravel. I was like, dun 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 dun.
Oh, no.
Like real fast and everything was amazing. And I was like, oh, I'm good because my legs had been hurting. I'm like, oh, they don't feel bad anymore. And all of a sudden I was like, go, blah, blah, falling down.
Oh,
Slid, like my knees are messed up, my shins are messed up. I went to go, kind of not like I went to fall
Mhm.
is which like when I was taught to fall on roller derby, it's way different. So I went to go try to do that. I'm like, I'm not on skates. This isn't the way I think it's gonna go. So like I scuffed up my hands and they're okay. They're not too bad, but they do hurt. They're a little tender. But I'm trying to be fashion, make it fashion and cute.
Yeah.
It's kind of fashion. I need a manicure. Don't look at my nails.
I know. I've been trying to hide
I'm
mine
like, I'm
too.
trash. But
Going
yeah,
tomorrow.
so there's that.
I need a manicure too. The black. is going off.
Let's all go get manicures, you guys.
Let's do it.
Yeah, screw the podcast.
All
Just
right.
kidding. But I was
We've-
wondering because
yeah.
I thought it was like a fashion choice at first,
It
but then I
could
looked
be.
closer while you were reading your
That's
story.
what
And
I
you're
thought.
like, those are
Yeah.
Band-Aids. Band-Aids. I'm like, yeah, they sure
Oh, those are
are.
Band-Aids. I thought those were gloves.
Well, this is Coban.
Oh.
Sponsored by
I
Coban.
wish we had a Coban sponsor.
DeluluCanoe
Coban's
is
amazing.
sponsored
It's
by-
like medical tape. It sticks to itself.
Yeah.
It's cool. But I got it in this leopard print. That's real fun. But fun fact, real quick, we use it in hair and wig styling when someone is bald and we have to wig them, or someone has like not a lot of hair to like pin to. So you put the Coban around it. It grips because it's got it's
around
rubber.
their bald head.
Yeah.
And then the hair sticks to that.
Yeah. And you can pin the
Yeah.
wigs to that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's great. So or just super short hair or bald hair, but it's great. It's kind of like
It's good to know.
and it's
Didn't know
grippy.
that.
I need to get
Got
some bobby
texture.
pins.
I have so many on my floor in the living room.
Yeah,
If
you
just
can
want
just
to pick
go
some
grab
up on the way
those.
home.
Sweet.
I haven't.
Sweet.
I know. Yeah, we do hair out in the living room.
I was joking a long time ago with my partner about that. I was like, you'll find picks and like guitar picks
Yeah.
and then bobby pins on the
Bobby
floor.
pins.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like to call them Robert pins.
Robert pins.
I'd rather step on one of those than
A safety
a
pin?
sewing pin.
A sewing
Oh.
Safety pins you can close, but like I've stepped on, I've got like here it comes. I right between my toes once.
Ooh.
Went right in there, and I had a roommate who sewed and crafted, worked on all kinds of things in like our home, and like I'd be walking by and I would see one on the ground because they're like the yellow ball at the end. And I'm like, oh God, the trauma. And then one day she spilled them all out, and they were in the carpet, and like she had a magnet thing and she was pulling things up. But when I started sewing and working with them more
Mhm.
and dropping them and not having full anxiety, I just got so used to it. I'm like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. I'm not afraid of them anymore.
I've stepped on so many. I stepped on the pins, like on my jackets, whatnot.
Oh
Because, like,
no!
it will fall-
It's like a short little, and they fall
It's short, little, they fall flat, and then like I have a black
Oh.
carpet,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, no.
And so when it's on, I'm just
Cosmo.
walking, I'm like coming out of the bathroom like that, I'm like right in the heel or the ball of my foot. I'm like, what is that? And I look at it, I'm like, thank God that I was at like a rough, like I played a lot out in the streets when I was a kid, and like I
From the
walked a lot.
Bronx?
I walked a lot.
Like
so
J-Lo.
right, and like
Cosmo from the block, the mean streets.
don't judge
Buena
me by the
Vista.
rocks that I got.
Yes.
I'm just Cosmo from the block.
Yeah.
This is what my hair used to look like when I ran up and down the block.
But
Sorry.
I have really thick callus on my heels
Yeah,
and all,
great.
so
So sexy.
So I had a girl in. Sorry, this is
No,
the
this
last
is really
story,
fun.
and then we'll get back to the
but
Reddit.
this is the
I had a girl.
episode they came for.
Yes.
They pay for this.
I
should
had
we
a
should we
girl.
say the last Reddits for Patreon?
We could, but
They're
we
juicy.
have 11. You all submitted 11 questions.
Oh
for Chrissy,
yeah,
so
I
we'll,
still
we'll
have
wrap
to do
these
that.
up.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Okay.
we'll save mine for
Let's
then.
save it.
Yeah, we'll
Because
save
we
it.
did 3.
Yeah, we did
Or
we did one each.
Yeah, should we just leave it at that and do the questions?
No, do your. You have a good one.
Okay,
but
it's a good
I
one.
want to tell my story though.
Anna,
Quick.
Okay.
Go for it. Yes.
I had a kid in junior high turn around and take one of those pins that you said that you got there. She stabbed me through my jeans and my thigh, like while looking at me direct in the
Where
eyeballs.
did this pin come from?
Don't
How did
know.
you-
And she just like
Oh,
looked me.
God.
I remember her freaking name too, and I don't want to say it.
Made
But her
eye
name was
contact?
Callie. She
Callie.
stabbed me in the thigh with it, and then looked at me and was like, "Haha, isn't that funny? It doesn't hurt." And I was so
It doesn't hurt.
traumatized,
Oh,
freaked
gosh.
out. Looking, I was like, "Get it out, get it out, get it out right now." And she took it out, and then she was like, "Cool, right?" And then turned around, and then we finished English class.
What's her
and
last
I was
name?
Shook.
I want to see if she's a
Ooh.
serial killer right now.
Oh
Blur,
my
Just kidding.
God.
blur,
I'm all
it,
like, where-
blur it, Chompy. Just kidding.
Blur.
I know her last name. I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna wrap up this
Wow.
by letting Chrissy tell another
Okay.
lovely Reddit story. We'll have more. I'll have a Reddit story for Patreon, and there's questions you all submitted on the Patreon DeluluCanoe podcast on Patreon for Chrissy. We got a bunch of questions, but take it away.
Okay, this is not relatable per se, but as a person who has many tattoos, am I the asshole for not being excited about my wife's tattoo? And I immediately was like, "Oh, you are," instantly. And I'm like, no,
Right?
I gotta read this. So
Hear 'em
a
out.
bit of background. I don't like tattoos. I find them off-putting and unattractive, and I don't
Asshole. I'm sorry.
Immediately.
I had to. I'm sorry. Continue.
and I don't think they look good on anyone, man or woman. It's entirely 100% a me problem. Well, that's good
Okay.
to know.
Okay.
Ownership.
Intellectually, I know that there's nothing wrong with tattoos, and they're a great form of self-expression, and they can be moving and meaningful and all that jazz. I know that. It's just a visceral gut reaction I have that causes this particular hang-up. My wonderful wife of 13 years wants to get a tattoo. She knows I don't care for them, and she asked me what I thought about her getting one. I said tattoos weren't my favorite, but it was her body and her business, and I would love her just the same if she got one.
Okay.
Maybe not super well-phrased answer, but she grumpily accepted it.
Grumpily. She's like,
Now, I mean, he sounds pretty progressive to me. Now she would like me to help her design the tattoo.
Aww.
And or make it a tattoo in my handwriting, maybe.
Aww.
Which, like, all these things sound sweet, right?
Right?
I said I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I was super comfortable with that, and that she should do whatever she wants to do, but I didn't really want to be involved in the process. She didn't like that reply.
What a douche.
She is upset now because she says that I'm making her feel like she can't get a tattoo and she'll never get one now, even though she's always wanted one. I feel like she wants me to be excited about this, and I really want her to do what she wants, but I'm not excited about it. And I just don't know if I can pretend to be. That's a permanent lie. I can't see what that word is.
Permanent line, maybe?
That's a permanent lie I don't care to commit to. Or that's a permanent lie I don't care to commit to. Okay, so thoughts?
He needs therapy.
No, I mean,
if I were to say, like, the beginning of it seemed really like, I don't like tattoos, anti-tattoo. But he actually, like, really took a step back and said, like, he has no problem with her getting one. It's just a preference he has that it's just not something he wants for himself. I don't know if this really makes him an asshole at the beginning point. I think he starts to become the asshole when she wants to include him in on it, and he won't even participate. That's where I feel like the assholeness comes in.
How long have they been married?
13 years.
Oh, jeez, bro. Come in. Shut up.
Well, I like the fact that he says there's, he has all these good things to say about, like, self-expression, this and that.
Yeah.
This is your body. You can do what you want. But he stated a boundary. He said, I don't want to be involved. Like, I don't want, which I think is fine and fair. And I feel like it's almost like she's trying to force him to be involved somehow to make it special. Like, he'll change his mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you participate in something that we can design together, like, maybe he'll like it. But I don't think he's gonna change his mind, which I think is fine. But, like, then she gets upset by it, and she just keeps getting upset. And it's like, you guys don't have to love the same things or like the same things, and your body is like it is your temple. It is like you have full autonomy to it, and it's yours, and you can do what you want with it. And then she, like, twists it, and she's now using it against him, and, like, oh, well, I don't want to get one now because you're not excited about it. And I'm like, it's kind of manipulative in a way. Like, she's making him feel bad, and she's upset because he doesn't want involvement. And it's kind of like, well, flip that in some other way where, maybe he wants to go skydiving, and he takes all these classes, and he really wants her to go with him, and that's something he's passionate about, but she's like, no. And you just have to respect that the other person says they're not interested. I just don't know why she's getting so upset about something that she's interested in. He doesn't want anything to do with, which is fine. It's not like, hey, babe, you want to come over here and try some crack cocaine? Like, we can do it together.
There's probably some like some hidden.
I know that you're like, are you gonna say, is there trauma?
No, not trauma, but what?
He's a narcissist.
But no.
He's a narcissist.
What if
his trauma and
what
past
if
relationship hurt him because tattoos?
What if for 13 years he's always done, like, suggested things that she never wanted to do, but she did it anyways for the spark of love, and there's one thing that she wants to do that she always wanted, it just backfired. So maybe there's another subtext to that. From her side.
I can see that too. Actually, yes, for subtext.
Yeah.
Because he's right. Our OP's a male.
I am assuming.
Oh, he didn't state. Ooh.
Yeah, my last two did not assume, but I don't want to do heteronormative relationships, so they could just refer to them as they.
Yeah, so they didn't give us any past example of what you had just said, that maybe they both came to an agreement and did something collectively together in the past, and then this is the person wanting the tattoo trying to do the same thing again. Personally, I'm sticking my guns to, like, this person is the asshole. Because what was the title? Read the title once more.
Am I the asshole for not being excited about my wife's tattoo?
Yeah, I kind of think you are. Like, I get that, like, you don't want to pretend to be excited, but, like, 13 years is a long
And it's
time
not
to be
that
with someone.
serious of a permanent lie I just don't, like, I mean, like, it's like, show some support.
Yeah.
You don't have to be,
Be
like,
excited.
somehow I'm
Be
going to get one
excited.
too. But
Be excited because she's happy.
Get excited
Yeah.
You might
for
not
their
like
joy.
it, but like, are you happy? Well, I'm happy that you're happy because that means more to me than anything, even
Right.
though, you know.
But also, like, don't you kind of want to have, like, a little bit in on the process? Because what if it's your face they get on them? You know what I mean? Like, that I would understand if you being like, I'm not excited about
She goes
that.
and does that just to spite
Just to
him.
spite them, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I could see that backfiring, and
Yeah.
that's why I would want to be involved, because I don't have any tattoos. I'm thinking about getting one, but not anytime soon.
A little Pokeball.
No, I have this really cute idea. I don't know if I want to share it yet because I feel like the hate comments are already being typed as I just said I'm thinking about getting one.
no.
We'll talk about it maybe on Patreon.
Okay. You're not allowed to have a tattoo.
But right. But I think they should just don't pretend to be excited, but at least be happy that they wanted to include you.
Yeah.
Because again, they could totally be like, "Oh, you don't want to do this? I'm gonna go get what I want, and it's gonna be a zebra that is twerking." You know what I mean? It could be something ridiculous.
That's my next tattoo.
A twerking,
Twerking zebra.
Twerking zebra.
You have to get that like on a body
Like,
part
how do
where
you,
it moves a lot.
Yeah.
Like a thigh.
Or like a
My
bicep,
elbow
like a bicep or something like
something.
that. Just like
I don't know. Do you guys what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Reddit kind of deemed it no a-holes here. Like, not an asshole.
Whoa, I went against the grain for once in my life.
I don't have any of the comments at this moment, but
I'm gonna
I don't
be
know what anyone said about it.
I'm gonna be saying he's the asshole for not approaching it differently or diplomatically
maybe.
or
No, I mean,
I think you have some merit though to the boundary thing though.
yeah, it's like, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Fake the excitement, but like, I just don't feel the need to be a part of it. Like, go have fun, babe. Yay.
Now here's a question. If you guys were in a situation, you're them, this person that doesn't like tattoos, what if your partner said, listen, I know you don't like it, but I would really love it if you were there to hold my hand because the painful process is something I really want.
Oh,
That's
yeah. I like that. Yeah.
God, I feel like he would hate that.
I know.
Or they would hate that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't.
It's so interesting because, like, I'll make this story brief, but I was kind of raised in a home where tattoos were frowned upon, and, like, I was taught that, like, tattoos are trashy and tattoos are, like, not cool. But now as an adult, like, obviously almost all of my friends have tattoos, and I think they're super rad. So we don't know if there's also a little bit of that ingrained into this.
Yeah.
Like
very
Cosmo was trying to say,
old-fashioned.
trauma or, like,
Yeah.
past experience where maybe they just, you know, it's been ingrained in their head that tattoos are.
I can understand if it was like getting your name tattooed or like if you're getting like getting somebody's name that's still alive in a relationship that's fresh. That's iffy. Like getting like I would get my partner's like lip or like bite mark tattooed on me because we've been together for a while.
Okay.
You know, but like like a lip, I like imprint, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to see what that looks like.
Trash.
'Cause I'm like,
So trashy.
oh my gosh.
Trashy.
I'm sorry I
tacky.
said it.
Or bite
That
marks.
honest.
Or bite marks. Or bite marks.
I mean,
but
it's kind of cute. I don't know.
but
Chrissy's like, trash.
I'm covered. He's covered too. We have a lot of tattooed. Garbage. No, just kidding. It's it's cute.
I'm
But-
gonna get Chrissy and Cosmo's name tattooed on.
No, it's gonna be like mom and dad, but it's like the little
Oh
flaming
my
heart
God.
with like, oh my gosh,
Oh
stop
my
it.
God.
With the Delulu Canoe logo.
My mom was very old fashioned, so she was very much like a no tattoos. But the respect was when you're 18, you could do whatever you want.
Did you get one when you were 18?
She took me to get my nose pierced at 16, and that was a big deal.
Nice.
Whoa.
That was a
Oh,
big
nice.
deal. I was
Okay.
shocked and surprised. It was like my senior year or junior year, and I was blown away that she was even okay to do that.
Wow.
What
And
about
then I got, obviously, when I was 18, I could legally go get a tattoo.
what with like some of your partners in the past that have tattoos? What is she? How is she against it? Like she's like, oh, he's a
Well,
criminal.
I mean, you have to understand, like, I've had tattoos for
Criminal. Criminal.
Sorry.
Oh my
great.
gosh. Give me your best transatlantic accent, please.
Criminal.
He's a criminal.
He's a criminal.
We We should read the modern day news, but as old timey news
Yes.
reporters. Okay. So you have to understand though, like I have had tattoos for like, almost 20 years now.
Mhm.
So I would say, or like less than that, way less than that, way less than, I don't math, whatever. But you know what? My math's totally off. And she's been passed away almost 2 years, but still like, she got used to it because I'd come home with a new tattoo and it was always really cool and pretty. And like, I wish I could show her,
Your latest?
like, yeah, my latest one, or my latest two even, because I got it, because there's a couple of really pretty ones. She got used to it. She liked them. She loves colorful things. So if it was something that was not dark and creepy and weird, she like, and like I'm gonna get a tattoo of actually the carousel from Disneyland, the Maryland one, at in the park that my mom and I rode on. I have a photo of. So it's like I mean they're sentimental. They mean something to me. But also when I see something like that's fucking rad, I'm like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
But she got used to it, and she got used to anybody else I'd bring home, friends or romantic interests or partners that had tattoos. She just kind of like
tatted baddies.
Yeah. My mom, she was okay with it. Only when I moved out to LA after she passed, when I got carried away with, I'm like, well, I'm bartending.
Right?
Just get in the necks, get in the hands.
You have a friend who tattoos as well.
Yeah. So I was
So
like,
cool.
he needs a guinea pig. I'm like, I'll do it. I'm gonna be a bartender.
You're like, I want to be a guinea pig.
I'm in this industry that's like, it's not preppy anymore. Back then when I started working, it was really preppy. It'd be clean cut and stuff like that. But they allow individuality.
So retail, Target's one of my favorite places. Like as long as you got a red shirt and khaki pants, they're like, we don't care what your hair color is. Or
I love that. I used to work at Target, and it was just beautiful to see all the different types of individuality.
I love like CEOs and corporate executives who wear these full covered suits to their jobs.
Yeah.
And then they just roll up that sleeve, and you're like, "Oh, look at that sleeve! Look
Yeah,
at that ink. Look at all those tattoos."
Yeah,
it's Also, like I don't know where this trashy thing comes to mind. Tattoos are expensive.
Yeah, I feel like it's because like when I was growing up, it was not as like technologically advanced as it is now.
It was like a niche cool thing to have beautiful. Like there's Tattoo Magazine, there's Inked Magazine, there's all of these things, and there's shows, and it's a big thing now. It's like going to a comic convention.
Music brought that to like full sleeve
and there's an art form to it. There's like different styles of it over centuries of tattooing. Like poke and stick. F that noise. I don't want none of that.
I have a friend that wants to get the Mandalorian Mythosaur skull, but like the original stab needle poke thing, and I was like, you're crazy. But back in the days from like between the like going far back to like the 50s all the way to the 90s, it was like if you're in the military, you got a tattoo.
Yeah.
If you're in the military, you got a tattoo. If you traveled anywhere on the 7 seas, you would get like a nautical star and stuff like that, ink or something like that.
Oh, cool.
My dad was in the Navy and never had my dad has no tattoos, and I always thought it was really strange.
If you're in the Yakuza, like a gang, you would get those beautiful, colorful. Yakuza. Sorry.
No, you're okay. You just said it really fast. It was like I'm just gonna make sure it's clear.
The beautiful, like detailed koi
That's
fish.
The thing. It's cultural.
Like, it's cultural.
Yeah,
and then if you're in prison, you'll get those. I'm sorry, but
Derek, when you're in prison,
when you're in prison, you'll get those tattoos, and like that. If a person with that many tattoos, if they weren't in the military or a part of a gang, something like that, they were considered a criminal because you would get those criminal tattoos.
I mean, you can also get nipples tattooed, like for a lot of breast cancer survivors.
Yes.
Like they can do flowers and stars and hearts, or just full on nipples when they've had their breasts.
And they look so good too.
That's the word, mastectomies.
Yeah. And eyebrows.
Yeah, and then folks who have scars from like surgeries or disfigurement or even an accident, or I know women who cover up their stretch marks with really cool, beautiful tattoos, or just like skin looks great when it's tanned or tattooed.
Yeah.
In general. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take this tattooed conversation over to Patreon because I think there actually is a question about a couple of your tattoos on Patreon.
Oh.
So be sure to support the podcast if you haven't done so already. We do have a Patreon. Right now, we are not monetized on YouTube anywhere. We make $0 doing this. So if you've got a couple bucks to spare, we will gladly take it to keep the lights on because this is a very expensive show. We've obviously got Chompy as an editor. We got Cosmo here working for us. us. And Chrissy's always behind the scenes, either pulling Reddit stories for us or helping us come up with topics or being on the show. So there's a lot of working parts in this that none of us are making money for. So even your kind, generous donation of $1 goes a long way here. We want to thank our sponsor of Chrissy's Hands for participating today. Even though she got an at-work injury, she decided to show up and show out. So thank you, sponsor.
Yay.
Thank you, Cosmo, for the Cosmo Show, for joining us as always.
Thank you for having me as always.
You are so welcome. And be sure to check us out on Patreon. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us the highest rating that you can if you enjoy us, because again, we are brand new and it really helps us score higher in the algorithm. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your cat, and stay delulu so all your dreams come true. And we'll take this over to Patreon.
Let's go.
Bye.